difficult. I want you guys to put a star next to this because this can be very tricky. Please read it with me. It says find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of the segment with endpoints 2, 9 and -6, -7. What always helps, guys, for this particular problem is to draw it and sketch it. You don't have to draw this on a coordinate plane. Just sketch out the two endpoints of the segment. And therefore, then you'll get -6, -7 here, 2, 9 at this point. So what you guys want to do is find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of this segment. So what you're going to do is, if you guys don't remember what a perpendicular bisector is, it's a perpendicular that cuts this segment in half. So it goes through the midpoint. What you want to do is figure out the equation of my blue line. So you need two pieces of information. First, you need to figure out the midpoint. Secondly, what you have to do is figure out what's the slope of my red line. Let's figure that out right now. So what's my midpoint of this segment? So if you guys don't remember it's the average of the two x-coordinates and the average of the y-coordinates. So -6 plus 2 is -4, divided by 2 is -2. So -7 plus 9 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. So the midpoint is -2, 1. So this point right there is -2, -1. So next thing you have to do is figure out the slope of the red line. What's the slope of the red line? Okay. So the slope of the red line, that's going to be 9 minus -7 over 2 minus -6. That gets me 16 over 8. So my slope is going to be 2. Okay. So let's look at this again. We know the slope of the red line. We know its midpoint. What I eventually want to do is figure out the equation of the line of the blue line. So how do I do that now? Well, looking at this right now, do I know the slope of the blue line? If I know the slope of the red line, you could definitely figure it out. Because as you guys know, that blue line is perpendicular to that red line. So it has to have the opposite reciprocal slope of the red line. So if I know the slope of the red line is 2, the slope of the blue line is going to be -1/2. All right, how's that going to help me? All right, I already know one bit of information already. I know the slope of the blue line. So I'm going to start off. Y equals -1/2 x plus b. That's the equation of the blue line. So in order to figure out what b is, I need a point on the blue line. Is there a point that I know on the blue line? Yes, I do. What's the point that I know that's on the blue line? Well, it's also a point on the red line too. It's the midpoint that I just found out earlier. The point, -2, -1, is the midpoint of the red line, and the blue line crosses through it. So what I'm going to do with -2, 1, it's supposed to be 1. -2, 1. What I'm going to do is plug that into my y equals -1/2 x plus b to figure out what b is. So y is 1, -1/2, and times x, which is -2, plus b. So I get 1 equals +1 plus b. Therefore, 0 equals b. So what's the equation of my line going to be equal to? If I know that the slope of the blue line is -1/2 and the y-intercept is 0, the equation of the line is simply going to be y equals -1/2 x. That's my answer. If you have any question on this, just ask me again tomorrow, or just press rewind. Let's go to the next problem. Well, you guys should be familiar with this. You guys saw this last year. This is the standard form of a line. AX plus BY equals C. This is a standard form of a line. What we usually like to do with a standard form of a line is eventually change it so it looks like the slope-intercept form of the line. So let's look at the next one. 3x plus 2y equals 3. If I have 3x plus 2y equals 3, I want to change this problem from standard form to the slope-intercept form. So basically what I want to do is get y by itself on the left-hand side. In order for me to do that, what I'll do is subtract 3x from both sides. And then get 2y equals -3x plus 3. Divide 2 to both sides. And y therefore equals to -3 halves x plus 3 halves. That's my answer. All right, the last problem of this lesson can be very confusing. It says the following: determine whether or not the set of points is collinear. So how would I figure out if all these 3 points lie in the same line? How do I do that? It's actually pretty easy. The way you would figure out if all these points lie in the same line is figure out the slope between all of them, or between 2 of them, or 3 of them. So I would figure out the slope between these 2, and then figure out the slope between these 2. If they are all the same slope, then the points are collinear. If they have different slopes between them, then they are not collinear. So let's figure this out. Let's figure out the slope between the first 2 points. That's -5 minus -8 over 3 minus -5. -5 minus -8 over 3 minus -5. If I simplify that, that's going to be 3 over 8. Let's figure out the slope between the last 2 points. So that's going to be 3 minus negative 5 over 7 minus 3. That equals to simply 8 over 4, which equals to 2. Are the slopes the same between those sets of points? The answer to that is no. Are these 3 points collinear? The answer is no. All right, guys, that was the whole entire lesson. You actually have 2 parts. You have a worksheet, and you have problems from the book. Okay, guys? So what I want you guys to do for the rest of the period is work on the equations on the worksheet that the substitute teacher will give to you. After you finish the worksheet, then do the book work from your iPads. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If you have any questions, ask me tomorrow. See you guys later. Bye.